Hi, I'm Ashley Swartz here for Beat TV at TubeMogul University in Napa. I'm so fortunate and blessed to have been invited by Brett and his team. It's been an amazing couple of days and I'm excited to come back next year. So, I have a lot of great things, a lot of conversation about programmatic, about video, both in sort of combination and what the orientation of the audience is. First and foremost, great content, right? I was able to moderate a publisher panel. There was an incredible interest here from the attendees around what publishers are doing in programmatic and how they're perceiving it. And there is sort of a subtle change in the perception of publishers and the value of programmatic, that it's not immediately going to be a race to the bottom as it was in display for their inventory, which is a great thing for video, especially now where we are in a marketplace. Marketers are here. There are 11 folks from brands, and it's not just because they're necessarily in-source and media buying, but because they're interested and because video is sort of more of a holistic strategy and approach for their media acquisition planning than it is just television versus digital versus online, etc. So it's a great conversation. It fosters a lot of good debate. Folks are in the tools and in the weeds. Brett was telling me, the CEO of TubeMogul, that about 90% of their buyers are self-serve, and he hopes that next year they're going to be 95%. We had a Q&A session where the users were in the weeds, in the tools, pushing Brett's team on the product roadmap with specific asks and demands, which tells me that we're a lot further along than I think the industry sometimes realizes or gives credit. Also, one thing that I did notice is that creative is still kind of absent from the conversation. It came up as a head nom and sort of a cursory, brief chat, but the reality is that creative optimization and how to make the most of that and getting creatives involved and ingratiated in RTB and programmatic is still something we have yet to do. So some of my key takeaways. I like my punch list. It's still early days, right? I think programmatic, a lot of it where we are, especially the ambitiousness or sort of being bullish about it, is because of the operational needs, right? Agencies need to lower their overhead. Media buyers and marketers are looking for efficiencies and, to get more for less, et cetera. So I think there was sort of this foray into programmatic was very much so operationally driven and about efficiency. And I think we're starting to shift into a more strategic, where it's about ROI, media performance, and people are getting savvier. And it's also affording much greater use and intelligence around data, right? Folks are still kind of talking out of both sides. The fact that at the end of the day, we say that we're buying on brand, we're buying up funnel, but the reality is that we're talking about things like engagement and performance. We kind of want a little bit of both, and we're defaulting to age and gender at the end of the day with ease, says that maybe we have a little ways to go as far as an industry, but that's great. Only upside, ways to move forward. OCR. Well, measurement, being able to buy sort of TV, aside video, age and gender, all that's great. But what's the eventuality from a macro perspective as to what it means for the industry? If you can compare apples to apples or have equivalency or parity for television to online video, what will that mean, and what will that mean for the value of these medias? Even though it will make it easier to buy and operationalize, what does it mean strategically overall? Liquidity. Right now, we have a shortage of premium video. But the question is that as that changes and we have a place where the supply and demand curves start to meet, and actually the demand on premium video is met and we can deliver to audience guarantees, does the liquid marketplace actually afford and fund content, right? Are the economics of advertising in a place where there isn't a shortage of supply enough that content production will be able to still be fueled, and actually we'll see great content coming out from big publishers like the New York Times and A&E who participate on the publisher panel. My big insight more than anything is that, we talk about this being a media planning and buying tool. Really, it's a platform to serve, to buy, to optimize, etc. The reality is that we talk more holistically about video being screen agnostic and buying across scenes, sequencing, all that stuff that is more about portfolio management and more strategic. This programmatic is becoming, and tools like TubeMoguls are becoming more and more business planning tools than media planning tools. And that to me is more and more exciting, because it means we're going to start having conversations about business and less about media, which means it's going to be more valuable for the entire ecosystem and more useful for CMOs down the road. Thanks so much. It was a great trip. I'm so glad to have been here, and I look forward to seeing you next year.